Hey guys, and happy May the 4th. My name is Emily, co-host here on All of the Movies, where we discuss all of the movies. And for today's video, me, Erinn, and a guest host are going to be discussing Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. This is a follow-up to the video I did a couple of weeks ago, my reaction to the teaser trailer that dropped. So if you haven't seen that yet, I'll link it right up here. And also, before we get into this video, I did want to make an announcement that for every month leading up to the release of Episode 9, myself and Erinn, and maybe a guest host, will be discussing each episode of Star Wars, starting from Episode 1 all the way through. We're going to also be including Rogue One and Solo. So be sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications so that you'll know when we post that sort of content. And that's it from me. Enjoy.
Okay, that's live. You're all prepared.
Get comfy. The gear.
You're the now famous 50 some odd 100 views your video has.
Oh right, what is it at now? I
don't know. It's at some ridiculous number.
Yeah.
Some of those comments were thirsty too.
I know.
Good for you, Emma.
I'll take a compliment.
6.1?
That's what I thought. Yeah, I was at some
Yeah.
number. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, with one thumbs down.
I know. I saw that one thumbs down. I was like,
That was me.
Gotta keep it level, right?
I didn't want it to go to your head, so.
yeah, exactly.
No, but it's pretty cool, the reaction, and I think like I jumped on it. Like she posted that and I was like, oh, I gotta watch it. So I watched it and then I edited it and got it up. So
well, I mean, I got so excited just from the trailer came up and I was like, I don't even care. It was literally in the middle of the workday. I was like, pause everything. And I went immediately and put it up on social media. And I was like, I was gonna just do it as the only thing we did. And I was like, oh, you know what? I bet she would do a reaction if I said something. Not even thinking that you were like already on that train of thought, but that was perfect.
Yeah, no, as soon as I saw that, like I pushed play, but then I was like, wait a second. No, I got to react to this on live. So.
All right, well, we've already taken up like 10 or so, right?
Yeah.
So let's get started. Everyone knows my name, Emily, and then Erinn, but now we have a guest, Kevin.
Good to be here.
Tell us a little about yourself there.
Oh, it's like an interview.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. I didn't expect this. Well, I'm a nerd, like the best of them. Do a little bit of writing for a entertainment news website on the side. Mainly just grew up on Star Wars, obsessed with it as a kid, played with all the toys as a kid. Been there from the beginning and excited to talk about this new movie.
We're gonna link we'll link the website too. Nerd fandom and all that. It comes full circle.
We're all nerds here, so safe space. So
I guess a safe space to say whatever you feel, whatever's in your heart. It's a safe space.
Okay, so the trailer reaction, I kind of already gave my initial reaction. It'll be linked here somewhere. If you haven't already seen it, you should.
Yeah, if you haven't already seen it, I mean, who even are you? What are you doing here?
No, right?
This is not a safe space for you.
Okay, so Erinn, what did you think of the trailer?
Yeah, I mean, my reaction was pretty much the same as yours. I was just like completely overwhelmed with what is happening. Excitement. Palpatine's laugh at the end. I mean, that was like the pinnacle moment for me. I didn't even realize that it was the Death Star until you said something, and I was like, oh, that's exactly, because I was still thinking about what had happened like up until that point. And I think that some of the trailers that have come out from the last Jedi and then from Force Awakens, like some of the things are playing along. There was like her breathing at the beginning of the trailer. Like that's kind of, I think it's cool how they did that just from like an artistic point of view. I thought that was really neat. But yeah, Palpatine's laugh is like the one thing that I was left with. And when that was the end of it, I was like, well, I gotta watch it again, because what else am I supposed to do with my time now? It was so short. It was exactly what I needed to like start like scoping the internet for all the theories and everything that everyone's talking about. And there are a ton. Everyone's got something that they're thinking about this movie. It's crazy.
The Palpatine laugh blew my mind. I mean, I was not expecting that at all. And I mean, going like my thought, I mean, it's my favorite trailer out of the three. Since Awakens, this is my favorite one. And like my biggest thoughts coming out of it was, whether you love or hate The Last Jedi, don't want to turn the video into that, but whether you love or hate it, the trailer definitely shies away from almost taking the opposite perspective, just philosophically. I mean, The Last Jedi was all about killing the past, kill it if you have to and move on. And this one starts off and it's Luke talking. He says, you're part of 1,000 generations and the Emperor's back and even the title. So my biggest takeaway, again, love it or hate it, is that J.J. Abrams is like, nope, I'm going to do what I wanted to do from the beginning. And, I'm going to, I don't want to say, what did they say, where they go back and change?
Like,
not necessarily.
Like it never happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that. They're not going to remake the movie like some people were signing, which is ridiculous. But they definitely seem to be kind of flipping on that philosophy, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, I read one article, somebody posted on Facebook and I read it, that was like the only person who said that it was not going back on everything that The Last Jedi had done, and it was actually continuing the story. And it was interesting because they were saying stuff like how, it was continuing their Rey's and Kylo's storylines in the way that they ended in The Last Jedi, which I guess is kind of true, because you see he's really kind of taken this like villainhood up, and he's really truly in it now in this, and just in the teaser. And Rey is very much, taking on the Jedi, the good guy mantle or whatever that she's been, had put upon her or whatever.
She's wearing the white robe.
Yeah. And they both have like the two token items from the last movie that were destroyed at some point. So like, I feel like maybe that he's trying to fix whatever went wrong in the last movie without completely
compromising the last movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
which I think is really awesome on JJ's part, because and honestly, I don't understand why they did the whole like, JJ will do the first one, we'll have another guy come in, and if it doesn't do well, we'll have JJ come back in and redo it. It's like, just have the same director. And I know like
they have to screw up his like
had different directors, but I mean, still, JJ was awesome. So Erinn already knows my thoughts on The Last Jedi.
I have like completely mixed feelings on it. Every time I watch it, I come away with like a different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Remind me, just I guess, without diving into it, and changing
It's
the whole.
impossible not to dive into that movie. Like you start
What are your
about it.
like one take? What are your thoughts, both of you, on that?
Well, I'll go first. It just really generalized, and maybe we'll do a video on like that. But for right now, I thought that Rian Johnson's like just took everything from like Star Wars and from The Force Awakens, just took all of it and said, I don't like it. It's out of here. Like that, the main problem I had, which set up my distaste for the rest of the movie, was that JJ did such an amazing job at the end where it's just like Luke and Rey, and she hands out the thing, and then it's a literal cliffhanger. And it was such a powerful and like just emotion evoking moment that I was so looking forward to it picking up in the next episode. And then guess what? He just tosses it like that.
We were so mad. We saw it together. She was so mad. She looked at me. She was like, she was so mad. Yeah.
And that just, it set up the rest of the movie. It put me in a bad mood, and I was like, well, I don't like that either, and I don't like this either. And it just put me in a bad mood at the very beginning, and stuff that I could probably overlook in the rest of the movie. Like the movie did a lot of good things well, like the whole Kylo and Rey fighting, and that,
yes.
Like there were so many good nuggets in there. But then as soon as you were like, oh, that was so awesome, it's followed up by another scene that was like, well, that was crap. Like, what are you doing? It just, the movie was so like,
it was uneven.
Yeah, it just, oh.
Yeah. That's the one word to describe that movie to me is uneven. It just was, it was up and it was down, and it was up and it was down. And like some of the things that it did well, it did really well. And a lot of the things that it messed up major. And I think it's because he wrote and directed it, and he, as a fanboy, you know what I mean, wrote it. And so it's based on his own perspective. And I agree. I feel like he took everything that had come before it and just was like, no, I don't think so. Yeah, and threw it off the cliff. Exactly. Yeah.
That, I think that's why that scene in particular just grinds my gears, because it's just like he physically showed the audience, all what you know is that lightsaber, and guess what? It's gone. I'm just like,
yeah.
Especially with the significance that it played in The Force Awakens. I mean, like that lightsaber was a big deal. Yeah. And forget The Force Awakens. I mean, the rest of the the movies that came before it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see where JJ, he started with The Force Awakens. It got completely kind of wiped out, but I think he's a good enough director and writer to seamlessly put it together and make it come back to his vision for it.
I do think it's very interesting that we're all three on the same page on that, because I feel the exact same way. I mean, I can have a logical conversation about it, and that's one thing I wish we as a nerddom could do better. But
that's the truth.
Yeah, but no, I agree, and a lot of people that love it are saying that it subverted expectations, which is a really good point. I love when writers have the balls to do that, but it subverted, in my opinion at least, it subverted expectations in the least interesting and satisfying way. So who are Rey's parents? They're nobody. Who are the Knights of Ren? Not even, why are you even asking that question?
Yeah.
There's nobody. Why are you even asking that question?
Yeah.
What's it going to do with the lightsaber? Nothing. Are Luke and Leia going to get together? Yes. Awesome. Oh, wait, no, he's not actually there. I mean, everything was subverted, which is cool and new.
Yeah.
But it was subverted in a way that was always seemed to me mostly the least satisfying. So, like you said, Emily, it's very interesting that J.J. Abrams has to come back to it now. I feel like I would say arguably the hardest job in the history of film. I would
Well,
argue.
he even said it. There was a quote I was reading earlier that J.J. Abrams came out and said, he's like, I started it, and now I have to come back and finish the story after something that wasn't he's like, I have to come and look at it almost without that middle movie happening, but it did happen. And so he's like, I have to take that story too, but it wasn't my vision. He's like, now I have to finish a vision from a jump over, but also use what was given to me in that film and all of the previous movies that came, before it, the prequels and the original trilogy and everything. And he was, he was like, I'm up to the task, but basically it wasn't going to be easy.
Yeah, and not only is it the biggest movie series of all time, but it's the end of a trilogy. It's the end of 3 trilogies.
Mm-hmm.
He's written the first one, somebody else has written the second one. It wasn't received well, and he's historically, I mean, I love J.J. Abrams, but he is known for the mystery box, right? I mean, he's known for being somebody who sets up something, be it Lost, be it the Mission Impossible movie that he did, or Cloverfield, Super 8. I mean, he very much sets up something that oftentimes the mystery is the point, and he doesn't necessarily answer it. And so now he's in a position to set up a lot of great things, and now he's coming back for a finale rather than just the beginning. And
he's got to answer it. Yeah,
I mean, it's historically difficult.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that, but like I would be okay, like moving on to, I guess, the expectations for this, trilogy of trilogies, the
segue,
yeah.
Really way to tie that in, though. Way to find a string and just pull it along, because that was impressive.
So the expectations, I think that if he does leave a little bit to mystery or kind of a cliffhanger or however, I think that a lot of the threads will need to be tied up in a bow. But if there's a few hanging, I think it will be okay.
We don't need midichlorians again.
Hey, I liked that. But yes, probably not so much midichlorians in this episode.
Talked about that a little bit, like with just movies in general, when everything is not tied up neatly in a bow, and you as the audience has somewhere to imagine the characters are doing whatever they're doing or living their lives. Like, that's almost more satisfying than when you have everything tied up all nice and neat. So right. I agree. I think that if there are some things left, maybe not quite unanswered, but just maybe unfulfilled, I don't know, maybe that's okay, as long as it's not like big story.
Right, the major plot points need to be wrapped up, like who are Rey's parents,
because I don't think anybody actually believes.
I want to know, because if it's Luke, I'm going to be highly disappointed, because
so many people think it's going to be him.
At this point, I don't think that they could do that, because it's so like, honestly, I want her to be like either Obi-Wan's. That would be really cool, but I know that's probably not going to happen. But if she's like an Anakin type, getting back to midichlorians, I would be fine with that. The main thing that I want to see in episode 9 is I want to know who the parents are, and I want Kylo and Rey to come together and balance the Force. So it's not just for like, they're so cute together. He's, on the dark side, she's on the light side. We need to finally balance the Force. That's what this like entire saga has been about, is like finding the one to bring balance to the Force. So if both of their Force energies can get together and balance it, that'd be great.
I've got a theory about that is almost the opposite. It's the same, but so obviously these are all done away with, but the book series that came after the movies, they call them legends now, because Obviously, Disney bought them out and they went the movies direction. But in the Legends, there was Han Solo and Leia's children that were twins, and one of them was on the light side, one of them was on the dark. They went completely different directions. I wouldn't know how to explain it, right? Like how Rey ended up with these junk dealers in the desert, but I think it would almost make the most sense if they were to be twins. It would explain the connection. It wouldn't be the romantic connection a lot of people are wanting, unless you're a Game of Thrones fan and just ship all that weird stuff. But it would explain that connection. It would be that type of balance. And of course, Echo, Luke and Leia being twins and that whole thing. And now, I don't think she necessarily has to be a Skywalker just because of this title, but I think she would be a Skywalker in that way without having to be Luke's daughter. She would, of course, still be a Skywalker because of Leia. So that's a theory that I think makes sense. I don't know, Erinn, what do you?
I am kind of leaning more on the twin theory than the romantic theory, only because I think it's too on the nose if they're romantically involved. I don't know. I feel like it does more justice to the story, and maybe not to the characters just based on the last movie, but I feel like it does more to the story in like the mirroring effect and closing the loop if they are brother and sister. I don't know which one I would prefer though, because I feel like if it is the romantic, like if that is what happens, then the two are becoming one, and that whole they are the one to bring balance to the Force. Like maybe that's the way to go. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be the brother sister, either that or like a lot of people are saying the Skywalker title is not going to have anything to do with her at all.
Right.
And I think that could happen because they're so blatant about the Rise of Skywalker, and I think that was a really bold move to name it Skywalker, like to have that in the title. I think that was a huge move, and so I'm thinking maybe they did that to out and out announce that it's got nothing to do with her, because so many people are going to be like, oh, Skywalker, she's a Skywalker, like it has to be, and they're just going to flip it on its head. I don't know. I have no idea.
The theory that I'm seeing a lot of that I actually really like is that Skywalker, after this movie, these 9 movies, there's not going to be Jedi, there's not going to be Sith.
They're going to be Skywalkers.
Mm-hmm. Like Christ, the followers of Christ are Christians. Basically from here on out, because Skywalkers were Sith, they were Jedi. Yeah. They are, the name itself very much implies somebody with powers. And I mean, as a myth, the word itself works very well. And that would very much honor, again, for those who love The Last Jedi and everything that it did, that would very much honor The Last Jedi being, the Jedi need to end, the Sith need to end. It's moving forward, but in a way that ties together everything. And I think that might be where they're going, and I actually really like that idea. We'll see if that's what they mean by the title, but I don't know.
That I would be most excited about is if that's the route they take.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. I think someone in our comments on the video mentioned that, and I was like, yes, yes. I hope that's what it is, because it makes so much sense for it to be like, everyone's a Skywalker. And it going back to The Last Jedi, it will, because like that whole thing was like the Jedi need to end, and then you see the broom boy, like
nice. I like that.
Everyone loves the broom boy. But it kind of harkens back to that, where there are a lot of Force users out there, and it could be like, there's no Jedi or Sith now, there's just Skywalkers. They're Force users. It's just going to be another word. And
it honors that idea of anybody could be. You don't have to be a Skywalker to be a Skywalker. It's got that wish fulfillment for little kids in the theater, like watching this and playing with the toys afterwards. And it's very much like that was the one idea from Last Jedi that that I thought was kind of, I didn't like the broom boy thing, but like that concept of like, because a lot of this, it's a 4 quadrants type of movie, but a lot of kids are watching this, and you got to kind of remember that sometimes, and it's cool for a kid to be like, hey, I play with their little thing and I can be a Skywalker and all that. Like, that's cool for kids.
I always, because I think when you and I saw The Last Jedi, the one thing that we talked about afterward was like the fact that, yes, while anyone can be a Jedi, and even through the previous movies, there were other Jedi besides the Skywalker family, the story is about this family, right? So they're at the forefront. It is their story. So while I think that is an awesome direction to end the saga, where you've got the rise of Skywalker, where it is more than just the family, but the family's got to be at the the heart of it. And I think that's why it's got to involve more than just Kylo. It has to be her too. I hope.
You sound a lot like Vin Diesel right now in Fast and Furious. Yeah, it's all about family.
It's all about family. That's right.
There's always room for family. I don't have friends. I got family.
Just give me a Corona and a white t-shirt and what kind of car did he drive in that movie?
Pretty sure he had a Challenger.
He did have a Challenger, that's right. American muscle, good old-fashioned American muscle.
No, okay, so theories, since we're talking about those, so for The Last Jedi and for The Force Awakens, I went down the rabbit hole. I spent hours in blackness just reading all the theories and watching all the YouTube videos and like Mace Windu and like all of this stuff, and like Rey's gonna be a Palpatine or whatever. Plot twist.
Hey.
So for this movie, I wanted to go into the movie with no predetermined expectations, except for the ones that I already have in my head. I can't go down the rabbit hole of theories for this one. So I'm going to let you guys take over for this part, because I am interested, and I'm pretty sure other people are pretty interested in the theories that are out there right now. So what are some of your favorite theories that you've come across so far?
Go for it, Kevin.
I'll tell you one of the weirdest ones.
Okay.
And yet somehow they might go that direction. So I saw this thing the other day that somebody thinks that Rey is a clone from Luke's severed hand in Bespin, and like in Cloud City, that like he gets his hand chopped off with the lightsaber and everything. And they never really explained how they found that lightsaber. And I know J.J. Abrams, which was originally going to start The Force Awakens with like just a shot of Luke's hand or something like that. And so they took it and run with it. And so they think somebody got his hand and cloned her from it, which is just so bizarre. But I mean, you never know. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't want that to happen. But
yeah, that is an out there theory. I haven't heard that one, but that is somebody would come up with that. Like, there's a hand missing. Let's build a whole thing that says if this person's going to be cloned from this hand.
The theory that I really like is the Emperor one, where I love the idea of the Emperor coming back. And the theory that I saw, and I was talking about this with Emily a while back, was that the Emperor is basically a Voldemort type presence in this, where in Revenge of the Sith, we saw that he was talking to Anakin about Darth Plagueis, and obviously that's been the core of like half the theories out there. But basically that he knew how to cheat death, and that potentially that is by passing on your soul or whatever to another body or another item or something like that. And so that could be what's happening. I mean, we hear that laugh during the shot of what I think is the second Death Star, right, from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
A piece of that. So that's where we get the shot from. And that would explain Snoke, if Snoke was just basically a vessel, and kind of why he's so disfigured and fallen apart, and why we never really got an answer for that. It could explain why the Emperor was telling Luke to strike him down in episode 6, because that's possibly how it transfers, right? So, I mean,
Ooh.
Sidious killed Plagueis in his sleep, right? That's what he tells Anakin, something like that.
Mhm.
And then Sidious asks Luke to kill him. Sidious eventually dies by Darth Vader, so maybe the Darth Vader's helmet is like what's that thing from
A Horcrux.
Horcrux? Yeah, something like that type of idea. Not trying to merge two universes together, but an idea similar to that, where his presence is still alive, and that would make sense as like the overarching evil of this whole saga.
I'm excited for Palpatine to be back. Like he is the ultimate villain, and that's one thing that I like about the prequels.
I've been saying that since the last one.
Yeah, since the prequels, like he's a mastermind. Like he's an evil genius of like just villainy. So to bring him back as like a send off to the trilogy, and to have the same actor come back, that
Yep.
I'm so excited for Palpatine to be in it, whether he's a Force ghost or like what you were saying, a Force ghost. I mean, ghosts can possess things, right?
That
So,
could be
yeah.
the purpose of it too, because we've never seen Sith have a Force ghost, right? We've never really seen that happen, and so the act of it transfers when somebody kills you in anger is very much a dark side thing. And I mean, it's very much, the dichotomy of we have the same power, but it reflects itself in different ways, with Force. In that same way, there could be Force ghosts here and this different type of existence here. And
Right.
yeah, I think it would make sense.
That was the thing that I was most excited by in the trailer was his laugh. Because when, you hear Luke say no one's ever really gone, and then he laughs. And those two things together was like, just release the movie right now. Just put it out in theaters. Like, it'll sell out. It doesn't even, like, those are the two, having those two things together back to back has to almost make it like he's definitely going to be alive. I don't know, but I guess the whole theory behind the ghosts, the Force ghosts, is that they're not really gone, even though they're gone, they're not really gone. So it kind of lends itself to that too. But I almost am hoping for him to actually be alive, because Snoke was such an anticlimactic villain, especially with the way he died in The Last Jedi. Like, you have to have that mean something. You can't just be like, oh, he's dead and we're not going to explain anything. Like, there has to be a reason. And I feel like with Palpatine, you get that reason. And also it goes all the way back to the prequels, where he's constantly manipulating everyone around him and doing everything he can to make sure that he is the powerful one at the helm, and he is the ultimate villain. And so you almost have to, just to justify the story or to keep it honest or whatever, have him still be that ultimate, the ultimate bad guy. Because Snoke was just like everything that happened, and whether it was meant to happen that way or maybe, Rian Johnson just did that because that was his own vision and it wasn't something that that J.J. Abrams was thinking about doing. It happened, and so now you're left with and how anticlimactic it was. So yeah, so I almost want him to be real and not a Force ghost, because I feel like that would be just the most epic thing for him to still be there after all these years. He's still the one pulling the strings,
He's surviving off of, just sheer will.
I don't know. Your theory about the electricity was, when you said that in your video, I was like, oh, she might be onto something there.
Mhm.
Yeah. And for those that think he's just going to be like a cameo or in a vision or something, if you watch the Star Wars Celebration thing where they actually released it, like
Yep.
they put out the actor live and he did his little run it again thing, and like. But like, I mean, they actually brought him out. They made a deal to bring this guy back, and I don't think they would have done that if it was just a red herring.
Red herring. I'm pretty sure it's a snapper.
Or if they're just it's just gonna be
Although
something.
Mark Hamill with The Force Awakens, like he's got top billing in the movie. He's at all the things. He's like, and then there's like nothing until the last scene. That would be so disappointing. I would be so mad if that happened in this movie.
I'd be okay with Palpatine not showing up until like the last part, like in the third act.
As long as it was like
as long as he's still the manipulator throughout the movie, and then they find out that it's Palpatine, and then they do their like last.
If you don't see him pulling the strings, but he's still the one pulling the strings, I'm cool with that. Yeah, as long as it's not the last 5 seconds of the movie where he shows up and it's like, hello, I'm here.
And then it's like a Snoke death.
Yeah, it was me. Yeah, no, I would not like that.
One cameo that I did hear that might happen is Hayden Christensen.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Heard that.
So who knows? It might be like one of those Harry Potter moments where all of like the ghosts of the family and friends like help him out. You never know.
I would say that I hope
Liam Neeson they're gonna be there.
Yeah, Liam Neeson. Yeah, I would hope that if they did that they would go back to the Hayden Christensen, because he's who you get to know as Anakin before he's Darth Vader, and so he's got that innocence of the character. It's got his face. So I would hope that if they are going to bring him back as a Force ghost, like they that they changed it to.
I think it could literally just be James Earl Jones.
just him. Because everyone would get it. Like no one would even have a second thought about it.
Anakin is black now. We're just moving forward with it.
That's an accident.
And you gotta understand that this was just the teaser. Like we're talking about the very beginning of what you'll see, and you have to also remember that if this is the first thing that's going to come out, everything that's going to come out next is just going to throw you off even more. Like they were talking about how this movie, because they finished principal photography like forever ago, and nothing has come out about this movie. I mean, they've been so tight-lipped. Somebody was saying, I think it was one of the producers or something was saying that they were so impressed that they were more tight-lipped than even the Marvel movies had been, like, because literally no spoilers, no nothing. No one even knew that the trailer was gonna really drop until it did. So I think that I'm really excited to see what else comes out before the movie. But yeah, December's a long time away.
Final thought: I love the opening shot of that trailer with the North by Northwest kind of reference in there. I don't know if you watch those side by side, the old Alfred Hitchcock movie. It's really cool with the plane coming in and the. Flip is just super cool. From then on, I was like, all right, I'm in for this.
Yeah. No, I definitely did really love that opening, because like what Erinn said, like all of the trailers have had the same like motif of like
those element things,
sand, person, and then like really cool thing, and then like going from there. So speaking of the really cool thing, like I know people harp on Rey for like being good at everything on the first try or whatever, but that jump and like I'm so excited for this.
Well, and I thought that was really cool too, because like I think it was the trailer for the last one, she was running away, but one of the comments said how it was kind of an interesting depiction of how far she's grown, because this movie is going to take, it's not picking up immediately after, it's going back to the old where, there's a time jump.
Yeah.
And they said something about how there had been so much growth in Rey's character up to this point, because now she's fully taken on, her stance as a Jedi, and she's not running away from the danger. She's, she runs away, but she's attacking it. She is, she is the, the master that she was, training to be. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Do you think that that's a training exercise? Like, I saw some people thinking that, like, it doesn't, it's not Kylo's ship. Like, it looks kind of like it, but it's definitely a different ship.
Yeah, people, I saw that people were like, I don't know, it's Kylo's ship, and so it might be a training exercise. And I was like, I don't think so, because like,
yeah, I didn't think so either.
yeah, no.
I hope it's not. I feel like it carried more weight just to have it open with that it had to, that it, it needed to be some kind of, needed to matter a little bit.
Well, I don't have anything else to say. Any final thoughts? No?
When do tickets go on sale?
I will put that up right here.
Yeah.
If it hasn't been announced, it'll just be a question mark right here.
Big fat question mark.
Look it up yourselves. Okay, well, thank you, Kevin. This was
fun.
Thanks
for having
more often.
Yeah, I appreciate it. This is fun.
Yeah, maybe for Marvel Endgame.
Yes.
Saturday night.
Yeah,
that would be fun. I like this nerd fandom thing we've got going on right now.
Trifecta.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for having me, and appreciate it.
May the Force be with you.
Oh, very nice. Oh, because this is going to be released on May the 4th, right? Didn't we decide that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, it's Erinn. Thanks for joining us for this video and geeking out with us over the next Star Wars episode 9. We are so stoked, as you can tell, for this movie to come out. So stoked, in fact, that we are now going to embark upon a Star Wars marathon that is going to include all of the Star Wars movies that have come out up to this point, including Rogue One. And including the Han Solo movie that came out, and we're going to watch them in preparation for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker coming out in December. We will, of course, be uploading our reactions and our reviews on each of those movies on the channel, so you can kind of keep along with us on this journey that we're going to embark on the next couple months. As always, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Make sure that the bell is checked so you're receiving notifications of when we post new content. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at All of the Movies 1 and at All of the Movies. And may the 4th be with you. We'll see you guys next time.
You've seen our videos, Kevin, but we edit the crap out of those things. Most of the time we're just like, what's our plan? I don't know. Let's just start talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Keep it with the motif.
Oh man. I'm just so excited for this. But it comes out in December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Really bad. Getting really bad about this. But whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah. I'm so excited.
All right.
Yeah. I think we covered everything.